USPSA or IPSC is another term. It's another sport like USPSA.
Lucky Gunner is my recommended trusted provider of Freedom seeds for range or defensive use. In stock, good prices, and rocket fast shipping are why I go back again and again. Because of new guidelines, I can't link their site or say it, but you're smart and you can find it with a simple Google search. Stick it to the man by paying them a visit today.
It is considered, it's close to USPSA, not IDPA.
IPSC. So
IPSC is like USPSA.
exactly. So IPSC is the International Practical Shooting Confederation. It was started in 1976, and USPSA is the American version of IPSC. It is part of the same organization. It's the United States Practical Shooting Association. So it's our version, because we know better than you. There are nearly limitless equipment options in USPSA. Sorry, I'm yelling. But you can use carry gear. It's simple. It's extremely simple. Just because you see these kinds of things, though, doesn't mean that's the norm in USPSA. Most people are running Glocks or CZs or 320s or X5 Legions or something like that, maybe kitted out a little bit, and they might not be using carry holsters. They're not using carry mag pouches, but they're using guns similar. It's simple. It's very simple. You stay within the sticks. IDPA, y'all shot, you saw what the fault lines looked like. USPSA, it wouldn't just be fault lines, it's a box. You stay within the box and you shoot the targets. No questions asked. The stage descriptions are very simple. They don't do a scenario because they're not self-defense based. Bless you. You'll come up for a USPSA match, same thing, moving squad, through the stages, and you'll walk through. They'll read it out sometimes, and they'll say this is a 16 target stage. So there's 16 targets. They need 2 rounds each, 32 rounds minimum. You have 3 minutes. Go.
Oh, so this is where
you find your stage plan, and the only other thing typically that I've seen is you get the start position and how many points you can earn on that stage. So USPSA versus IDPA. IDPA is time plus points down. USPSA uses hit factor scoring, which is the amount of points you can earn per second. So you want to be shooting as much of the time as possible that you're on the clock. There is extreme flexibility on stage planning. Reloads, you can drop mags anywhere, everywhere, anytime, and air gunning is okay. So watching, if you're an IDPA shooter, watching USPSA guys, it's almost comical at first because everybody's moving through the stage, air gunning. There is a lot of movement in typical USPSA stages, and it can reward people that can move a little faster versus people that can't move as fast. You can maximize your strengths, however, in USPSA. Rob Latham is a good example. Rob's a little older now. He can't move as fast as he did before, but he still does well in USPSA because he maximizes his strengths of being able to shoot targets quickly at distance. So someone younger, like me or Tyler or Tim, that can run up to a position, shoot targets, and then exit that position quickly, Latham might look at it and say, I'm not going to go all the way up there. I'm going to take that 25-yard shot from here. You can maximize your strengths versus fleet of foot. There's a much higher round count in USPSA. IDPA locals might be 100 rounds, 120. USPSA is probably going to be about 10 or 20% higher than that. So about 150 might be your typical local USPSA match. What is neat, or what I like about USPSA, is we talked a little bit about their classification style. USPSA is... It's a nerd game. It is. It's a game for the guys and gals who like the percentages and the numbers. In classification, the way they do it is they have a whole list of classifier stages, and they get the average runs from different people and what the fastest times are for points earned over time, the best hit factor. And based on that, that's how they classify people in either GM, Master, A, B, C, or D.
So first 3 competitions, they'll average that, or?
Your first 6 they take your first 6 and then they toss your lowest one, and that's how they get your initial classification. And then as you shoot, they just keep adding in and getting your average. You can't go down, you can only go up. But it's cool. I like that system because IDPA, the classifier, is 25 rounds, standing up there, shooting one target from the draw. You do a couple of different things. USPSA, you get to shoot all these different stages that have multiple different skills involved, but you're getting a percentage of yourself based on everybody else, not just a time on how fast you shot it plus points down. The thing about you, sir, definitely, yeah. Sir?
It's a rolling window of the last 6 stages.
No, it's a percentage of, after we get your first 6, we take 1, throw it away, right? Is that correct? I think they take your 5. So they take the total percentage on how you did on each of those, and then they just keep adding as you go.
Okay, gotcha. So that's your base.
Even classifier math confuses me.
Understood.
Yeah,
So that's your, basically you start with your baseline and then you build.
Yep, you build on top of it. That's why it's really difficult to classify up in USPSA, because if you started all the way down here, as you're going up, trying to build that average,
That's so many matches.
it's difficult. Yeah, it's not easy. Most USPSA locals will have 5 regular stages and a classifier stage. So at least you get 1, you got to shoot 6 matches. Sometimes they'll have a match with 5 or 6 classifiers so you can get it done all at once. But I think it's more fun to shoot 6 matches and just do it as you go. In terms of defensive stuff, USPSA, we talked about how the sports can kind of encourage some bad habits. USPSA can encourage some standing and spraying. Standing out in the open and just engaging targets as you see them, there's no tactical priority. So that could be a little bit of a disadvantage. However, like Tyler reminded me the other day, it is also defensive capable because it's getting accurate hits at speed. So that applies to the defensive scenarios. Equipment sometimes can become the focus. You're trying to buy speed. You're gonna do a lot better if you've got a holster that's dropped an offset versus someone running concealed from an appendix rig, or if you've got something that shoots a lot flatter because it's comped or has the thumb rest gas pedal or something like that versus someone shooting a stock, Glock 19. So there can be a little bit of a focus on buying speed. Unless your name is Nils Jonasson, you shoot for Canik and you shoot a stock Canik and smoke everybody at Nationals just walking.
Canik?
Yes, he beat everybody. So like I said, it's the gaming versus defensive practice with USPSA. You're still getting hits at speed, but there's no tactical priority involved in that. So scoring for USPSA is a little different also. This is a USPSA target, and you have Alpha, Charlie, and Delta. A miss is called a Mike, and there's your non-threat. It's on the back. I like the fact that they put it on the back. We don't have to pay any targets. So hit factor scoring, I think everybody here is probably, there's 2 power factors in USPSA, major and minor. I think everybody here is shooting 9mm minor, I'd imagine. I don't hear any open guns. So if you're shooting minor power factor, you get 5 points for every hit in the Alpha. You get 3 points for every hit in the Charlie, and 1 point for every hit in the Delta. But if you come up on a stage and it's your best 2 hits on paper, we're only taking your best 2 hits. So shooting 3 alphas isn't going to give you 15 points. It's still only going to give you 10. Major power.
Can you repeat that again?
Shooting, if it's like 2 required on target, just because you put 3 alphas in doesn't mean you're going to get 15 points. You're still just going to get the 10 max. Major power factor is someone shooting like 45 or a souped up 40. Or 9mm major or 38 super in an open gun, which is the loudest thing you have ever heard in your entire life.